The thing you're going to be looking for when the client or patient is face up is whether or not the neck is extended. And here I see that her neck or head is back a little bit, so the neck is back or extended. And to compensate for that, or more correct her into a neutral position so there's no sense of pressure there, I'm going to use the base. And I'm just going to grab the little handle at the head end of the chest support here and lift up the head end of the chest support and place the base of the face support. And notice I have the narrower aspect, the forehead portion, going under first, and that's going to elevate her head a little bit, and that'll alleviate any pressure otherwise that may be there because her neck is extended. Now that always is not the case, but you'd be looking for that. That's one thing you're going to want to find out. And you ask, how are you feeling? You feel any pressure now at all in your neck?
It's really comfortable.
Is that better with the base under there? Does that help a little bit?
The base helps a lot, certainly.
Okay, great. And the other thing you're going to want to reference is the hips, and make sure that the low spine is comfortably supported. Typically, there will be some pressure on the low spine or on the hips if you have the patient or client too low. And so that's a clue usually to just have them move up, because the key reference point face up is there's a medial ramp, a lower sloping medial ramp on the lower portion of the pelvic support, and that's intended to support directly under the sacrum. Now the point of the departure of the coccyx, of the tailbone from the sacrum, is referenced just about where the pelvic support meets the table. And so you want to get them right up there, right on it. And what this allows you to do then is to access down the back in a way that your hands can work freely all the way down to L5. It's all available to you. And you can go all the way from the head end and work that way. You can go in from the side and work that way as well. So here we have the patient, the client, in a very, very comfortable position. And I know this may seem a little unusual and a little, you say, kind of wacky, but what we're doing is, and I know many of you have experienced this when lying on a flat table, even with your knees elevated, we're elevating the upper torso to allow a position of repose that eliminates any of that pressure in the low spine. Typically, we feel that pressure in the lumbar spine. So this allows a drop down for the hips in combination with the elevation of the knees. We have nice flexion at the hips. We have the upper torso well supported. Her chest is lifted. She can breathe easily. Her neck is well supported. So this is a very, very comfortable position. The leg support supports in a way there's no pressure in the soft tissue behind the knee. And it affords a variety of positioning possibilities for supporting each individual extremity. Here I have support, firm support. I've moved the half of the leg support up into the ischial tuberosity so that she's fully supported. We can have the leg off the table in this way. We can remove it altogether and work with the knee extended. We can work with the knee in a 90. So it gives you all these different positioning options. When you are working the neck and shoulders from the head end of the table, you want to do that after you remove the crescent and set it aside. And this allows you to take advantage of the positioning afforded by the breast recesses. In this case, the recesses allow moving the head laterally. It drops into extension, which is desirable here because it idealizes a stretch along the lateral aspect of the neck. Also, going down the spine, we can go all the way down to the lumbar spine, all the way to L5 in that free space, and work the full length of the spine freely. We've rolled our client from face down to face up. Now let's roll her from face up to face down. And to do that, what I recommend you do first, if you're using the split support, just connect the two halves and take the leg support away completely. And then have your client roll over, so just roll over for me. I found even during the rolling over process, that's a time sometimes you can slide it back under your client. But simply have the client lift from the elbows and knees again, as before, And we'll slide that back so her torso is supported, and then we put the face support on the table. And then the last thing we'll do after your client's comfortably positioned face down is add the leg support under the ankles. Now that she's face down again, let's pull it from beneath her, and we'll compare the difference without the body cushion. So just lift from your elbows and knees, and I'll just slide this from beneath you and have you compare the difference without it.
That's not comfortable.
And try this. Gain some personal familiarity with the body cushion by lying on your body cushion, take a few deep breaths, nestle in, and then after a time, just kind of lift up and pull it away and lie flat to compare the feeling. You'll be amazed. This really makes a big difference. Because the rolling over of the patient or client using the body cushion seems to be the most difficult challenge, I want to spend a little more time, and we're going to use draping here, and I'll share with you how I drape the body cushion. Very simply, I put it on the tabletop, and then I cover the body cushion after removing the face support with a sheet, and that becomes the bottom sheet. And I do point out we are using an elastic fitted cotton table cover on the table here, but that isn't necessarily required. So this will be the bottom sheet between the table and the body cushion and the patient's body. Now I'm going to place the face support directly on top of the sheet. That's not attached, and it really doesn't have to be, and it still gives us the ability to move it to the side and work with it in a variety of different ways. So now, Rochelle, I'll have you get up on the body cushion face down, and we'll cover you with the top sheet. And this will help a lot in how we're going to actually work with the draping. So in this situation, what works very well, so that you don't expose your client, if you will, you can take the top sheet, and what we're going to do, just as we did before, is we're going to have her lift from her elbows and knees, okay? And raise her face first. We'll take that crescent away, take the base away, and I'm going to reach under here and just grab the little handle and pull it forward, and that's all you need to do, okay? And she wasn't up so far that she was exposing her chest, and that worked quite fine. Now, so that you can understand about controlling the sheets, what I've come to doing is I trap the sheets between the tabletop, just as you would in an ordinary situation on a flat table, so that I can control the sheet and it doesn't bunch. I'm going to ask Rochelle to make a right turn and turn away from me. Now she's going to roll over with her head right up at the very tippy top part of the body cushion. Rolling from face up to face down is simply a reverse of that process. First, I'll take away the leg support, and to do that, I'm going to connect both halves, pull it out, and set it aside. I'm going to block the sheet, as I did before with my thighs, and be mindful again of which way my client's going to roll. I'm going to have her make a right turn again and roll toward me. She'll just roll right over. And then the last thing in the process is to have her lift from her elbows and knees, and I'm just going to slide the chest support right under her chest. We take the face support and base and put it right on top of the bottom sheet. And lifting the ankles, we put the leg support back under the bottom sheet under the client's ankles. The body cushion is an ideal positioner for positioning your client or patient or athlete on the side in the lateral posture. To do that, we won't use the face support. We'll take that away and set it aside and move the head end of the chest support up toward the head end of the table. We're going to separate the pelvic support from the chest support about 4 inches, allowing space for the shoulder.